This is the Tecno Spark 8C, the latest addition to the Spark 8 series, and it's actually the first Tecno budget device to come with memory fusion. And that's not all, it also has a 90Hz refresh rate, all for a stunning low price of 59,500 or 66,000 naira. I think it's really impressive that Tecno were able to price this phone at this point, considering that, phones are just getting more and more expensive. Design-wise, it retains a sort of similar design language to the other phones in the Spark 8 series. This color here is called Magnet Black, and there are 3 other colors. I love the matte finish on the back. It's one of those phones you can easily use without a case, because there would be no fingerprint marks or smudges. And because it's a plastic bag, it won't easily crack when it drops. As usual, we have the Stop at Nothing text as well as the Tecno Spark branding on the back. And to the left of that, we have the camera module and fingerprint sensor. That is the 13 megapixel main camera. So with the fingerprint sensor being on the back, that means we have a regular power button along with nice and clicky volume keys. At the top, there is nothing. On the left, we have the SIM card / micro SD card tray, and at the bottom, a headphone jack, microphone, micro USB, and 1 speaker. In terms of feel in the hand, it's actually very comfortable to hold. It's got rounded corners, so it just sits right in your hand. Now let's talk about memory fusion. Like I said in the beginning of the video, the Spark 8C supports that. If you don't know what that is, well, it's simply a feature that allows you to use some of your storage as RAM. Now, this is a feature that we typically see on more expensive phones. So for Tecno to be able to bring this down to a budget device, I think that's pretty impressive. The Spark 8C comes in either 2GB or 3GB of RAM, which is kind of small, but it's kind of typical, for budget phones. But thanks to memory fusion, you can now add up to 3GB of RAM, which would take it to either 5GB or 6GB of RAM. And correct me if I'm wrong, but as of right now, there is no phone at this price range that gives you this much RAM. If you have the Spark 8C but can't find memory fusion, there is no need to panic because you just have to update your phone. So head over to settings, scroll down to system, tap on system updates, tap on online updates, and install the update. After that, your device should reboot. Once it comes back on, you actually have to repeat the process because there are 2 updates. So you just do the same thing over again. So that's settings, system updates, online updates, and then install the update. Once that's done and your device has been rebooted, you can now enable memory fusion. Now, since you'll be using some of your storage as RAM, I definitely recommend that you make use of a micro SD card. So get yourself some more storage. So there you go, more RAM that you normally would get and a more fluid experience. Speaking of fluid, the Spark 8C has a 90Hz refresh rate. Its display is a 6.6-inch 720p 90Hz LCD display. Again, most phones at this price point come with 60Hz displays, but this has 90Hz. How? And then when you pair that with more RAM, it just leads to a better user experience. Just scrolling around the UI, scrolling on social media, opening and closing apps, playing games. I mean, this doesn't have the most powerful chipset in the world, but it would be able to play most games out there. And I mean, multitasking is just really good, especially for the price. And then it has a 5,000 mAh battery, so basically all day battery life. I mean, it's kind of typical for budget phones, but it's a nice addition. For 66,000 naira, can you name a phone with a 90Hz refresh rate and 6GB of RAM? I don't think so. If you're on a budget, I definitely recommend you check out the Spark 8C. And it turns out you can place an order on their website and they would have it delivered to your doorstep. I actually did not know that. So I'll leave that linked in the description. So that's about it. 90Hz, 6GB of RAM for 66,000 naira. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you when you see me.